Hey everybody, Elise here from A6 Boutique. I am here today with episode 2 of Boutique Stories. And what I want to talk about today is my experience with pop-up shops. For those of you that don't know, pop-up shops are events for people who have online businesses to show up, set up a table or a display of their merchandise, and people can shop them in person. I have very mixed feelings about pop-up shops. I think they are very important for us online businesses because it gives people the opportunity to meet us in person, see, touch, and feel the merchandise. It also gives you exposure. It gives you the opportunity to meet new faces, all that good stuff. There are so many positive things that can come from doing a pop-up shop. With that being said, though, you have to make sure you are at the right pop-up shop, because who is your target market? Is your target market going to be at said pop-up shop? What age group are you catering towards? Are they going to be at the pop-up shop? Is anybody going to be at the pop-up shop? Or are you going to do all this work to get your stuff there and it ain't nobody there? Those are all the questions that you have to ask yourself before going to a pop-up shop. The thing about them is, unless it's an event that you have attended before, you really don't know what you're gonna find when you get there. And even if you have attended the same event before, it's still not promised that it's gonna be repeated success. So if you went to an expo last year and it was the bomb.com, that don't mean it's gonna be the bomb.com this year. It could be a totally different audience. It could be nobody there. It could be a bad day for weather. It could be so many things that just jack up your whole life the day of a pop-up shop. Also, you have to just think about your price point. Who else is going to be there? Are there going to be other businesses there that sell the same exact stuff you sell, but theirs is $5 cheaper? Do you sell jewelry, but then somebody with paparazzi set up right next to you selling $5 jewelry? So then now your $20 earrings look like Gucci earrings and don't nobody have time to spend $20 with you. It's so many things that could happen that could just mess up your flow at a pop-up shop. With that being said, all pop-ups aren't good pop-ups. And when I first started, which has only been a little bit over a year, I was willing to do any pop-up shop. I'm like, I will go anywhere because I felt like my mindset was, even if I don't make a lot of money, any exposure is a plus. Even if I just get a couple of contacts and get a few email addresses, or even if I just hand out some business cards, I felt like that was a plus, which is true, depending on what your mission is for the pop-up shop. So if you just want exposure, which is pretty much what I was looking for in the beginning, then that's good. Do that. But all exposure ain't good exposure, because you can expose yourself to a bunch of people, but if those people aren't your customer or your target market, you just wasted your time exposing yourself to a whole bunch of people that don't care for your merchandise or have no interest in your merchandise. With that being said, I will tell you a pop-up shop horror story that I experienced. I live in an area it's not a major city, okay? And a lot of times, certain areas around here are not very diverse, which is fine. In my career, a lot of times, I'm just gonna be blunt, I'm the only black face in the room. It is what it is. And I've worked for multiple companies in multiple cities and states, and that has been the case. So I am used to being the only minority or the only black face in the room. I have no problem being comfortable in that environment. I know how to function in that environment. It doesn't bother me at all. So this pop-up shop was no different, okay? I get there, and it's when you're thinking about the people that are at a pop-up shop, it's not, do they specifically fit in your target market when it comes to age? It's not about race. It's not about those things. It's also about the lifestyle. Do these people wear the things you sell? Do these people, if I sell cocktail dresses, do these people at this pop-up go to cocktail parties, or is that not their thing? Then you might not sell a cocktail dress. You know what I mean? It's like their interests have to match up with what you sell, all that good stuff. So I went to this pop-up. The first problem was it wasn't the right age group, okay? Everybody there was older than my target market, which I have said is about late 20s to late 30s, early 40s. That's typically who shops with me, okay? They were all older, fine. I had some things that still worked, no problem. But then their lifestyle also didn't match. So like I don't really sell trendy pieces, but my pieces are, in my opinion, fashion forward. So I'm gonna have your sequin. Right now the fedoras are really popping. I had fedora hats, I had snakeskin bags, like things that were fashionable. These people hunt. They walking around in camo and cargo pants and boots. So first I had this display set up on my table, and I had like this sequin top because it was like November. So I'm trying to sell holiday party, New Year's Eve, things like that. So I had this sequin top displayed on my table. People were shocked. Like they were like, oh my God, I've never seen something so sparkly in my life. Oh my God, I can't take it. I'm about to die sparkles. Oh my God. Okay, so I got that feedback and I immediately changed the display. I put like a comfy, like fuzzy sweater instead, which did better because anybody could wear a soft sweater, you know what I mean? So people were starting to come over to the table because they actually wanted to touch and feel the sweater, as opposed to like pure shock because there's a sequin top in the room. Like, oh my God. So that was that. So my target market was not there. And it's not even the age that was the problem. It was their lifestyle. Totally did not match. So that was a thing. Then something else I've noticed about pop-up shops is when they start, like say if a pop-up shop is from 10 to 2 or 10 to 3, something like that. Typically the first few hours tend to be the busiest, where you get the most traffic. And then towards the end, it starts to dwindle down a bit, right? So towards the end, it's starting to get quiet, and some of the vendors are just kind of walking around talking to each other, seeing what other people are selling. First thing, it's a vendor 2 tables down selling Trump stuff, which is fine. If that's what you do, do you. But why is it political stuff at this event? That I was uncomfortable. Whatever. I don't mix politics in my business. I don't speak about politics at work. Like those are just things that I like to keep separate because you never know how people feel, and especially in today's day and age, that is just, it's just a heightened tension. I don't, whatever. So that was that. And then there was a lady next to me that was selling like essential oils and stuff. She was a nice lady. This guy comes over, older gentleman, Caucasian, okay? He walks over and he's speaking to me and the lady that sells the essential oils next to me. And he's telling us about this pop-up shop he had done the prior day. Like he started off like, hey, how's business going today? Like small vendor talk, whatever. And then he starts to tell us about this pop-up shop that he had attended the day before. And he said it was at a church, and it was at a colored church, quote, end quote. And he was just so blown away because it was 97% of them and only 3% of him. So at this point, I check out of the conversation. I'm like, where's my phone? I'm fake texting just to exit the conversation because I'm like, I have no words for a colored church in 2019 at the time. So he kind of sees the disgust on my face and he goes, oh, but I have no problem with that. You know, no problem with that. It's just the music was so loud. I couldn't even hear myself think. I couldn't hear my customers because the music was so loud. And the lady is like trying to smooth things over. And she's like, were they having a church service? Maybe that's where the music was. And I'm just like, I can't. So that shows you what kind of area I was in. So that was a pop-up shop horror story. I've also had amazing pop-up shop experiences where I've met wonderful people. I've met other business owners. I've met sponsors of other events that invited me to come and have a table set up at their event. So again, you just never really know what you're gonna get into until you get there. And then also do your proper research. Who's hosting the event? What age group will most likely be at said event? Will it be mostly women there? Will it be mostly men there? Will it be kids there? Do you want to have like a prize wheel or something to attract people over to your table? Like what are you going to do to stand out at the pop-up shop, and is it the right pop-up shop for you? Because all pop-ups are not good pop-ups, and that's real. Because you know, all that stuff, getting exposure and saying, even if I hand out business cards, or get email addresses, it's all a success. Yes, I had that mindset at first, but when you think about it, if you go into a pop-up shop for 5 hours, okay, you also take the time to prepare your inventory, load up the car, unload the car, set up your display, sit there for the 4 or 5 hours, load your car back up, unload the car again, prep, putting everything, unpacking everything. Before that, you had to tag the merchandise, price the merchandise, make a plan for what you're taking, set up your POS and decide how you're going to collect money, and are you going to have thank you cards? What bags are you going to use? It's so much prep that goes into this. So if you go to a pop-up shop and you only make $100, think about, even if you work somewhere minimum wage, or somewhere that's paying you $15 an hour or something, if you work for 5 hours, you at least know that you're going to get that money for that's worth your 5 hours. But you have to think about it. You're paying yourself. Is it worth the investment? And sometimes exposure can be more valuable than money, because if you get enough exposure, that's going to turn into dollars later. But if you get the wrong exposure, you just wasted your time. So you didn't make no money and you didn't gain any valuable exposure that's going to help you out later. So that's just something to think about with pop-ups. And just to expand a little bit on how I prepare for pop-ups, I think about what I want to take, and I think about who I think is going to be there and what items will appeal to them the most, because I can't take everything. I pretty much take everything myself. Sometimes I have help, sometimes I don't, but I physically have to carry this stuff wherever I'm going, so I can't take everything. So I need to decide the pieces that I think are most likely to sell. I have to decide what sizes I want to take, which I normally take one of each size. So if I have small through large, it means I'm taking 3 pieces of that style with me, which can kind of be challenging if you sell that large and the next person's like, I want a large too. Then that's a whole nother thing. You have to figure out if they're willing to let you ship it to them or whatever. But I decide what I'm going to take and how much I'm going to take of it. I typically have a clothing rack and a table. When I first started this, I used to set it all up in the house the way I wanted it to look and then take a picture of it. So when I get there, I can set up like that. Like within 2 seconds, I have a picture of exactly what my setup is going to be. So I just kind of repeat that setup at the event. I don't really do that anymore because I've done it so many times. I kind of know how I'm going to set my table up. But I also have a lookbook that I have created that I got from CVS. It's like a catalog, so it's just pictures of my most recent new arrivals. I model my own clothes, so it's just pictures of everything so people can see how it looks on, because at these pop-up shops, I don't typically have anybody try anything on. Like I have had some people like, can I take this to the bathroom and try it on? Which that's fine. But I don't typically have people try stuff on, so the lookbooks are very, very helpful. Because it just shows the pieces on a body so they don't have to use their imagination so much, and they can also see how a certain size fits me, and then they can equate that to themselves to say, okay, you wear a large, okay, I'm more extra large or whatever. So I have lookbooks, I have business cards, of course. You always want to have those. I also have a sign-up sheet where I collect names and email addresses, because exposure is always good. So even if they don't make a sale with me today, I would love to keep in contact if somebody shows interest in my brand. So I have them write down their name and email address, and I add them to my email list when I get back, so they start to receive emails and promotions and stuff like that from me. Because what I don't want to happen is for me to meet somebody one time and they don't know how to contact me. People sometimes lose business cards, throw them away, don't keep up with them or whatever. So that way I can just send out an email and then keep myself on top of mine. I'm trying to think what else. I guess that's it. I just wanted to talk about like pop-ups and my experience that I've had. Like I said, some experiences have been amazing. I have met some wonderful people, some repeat customers. I've gone to pop-ups and even had people come back to the next pop-up just to see me, which is amazing. And then I've also had pop-ups where I didn't make any money. You know, that's just the gamble that you take when you sign up for these things. They also typically have an entry fee, so keep that in mind as well. Like, how much is the entry fee? Do you think it's going to be worth it, depending on how many people you project to be at the event? And you can ask the sponsor, like, how many people do you project to be at this event? How are you advertising this event? How are you marketing? So to make sure that they're doing their part to get people to come as well. And then sometimes the sponsors will also ask you, like, can you help market it? Can you post this on your social to let people know that you're going to be here, and then also get the word out to your audience? So that's another thing, because if the sponsor ain't publicizing it, nobody's going to be there, and then it's going to be a complete waste of your time. So if you have any questions, just comment below. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. That is just my take on pop-up shops, and I hope you guys come back to see more episodes of Boutique Stories. So thank you again for watching, and have a good day.